It's playtime at the park, just an ordinary afternoon. But how this family got here is extraordinary.
I almost died, and Van almost died too.
When Miranda Klassen arrived at Scripps to give birth to Van, she told her nurse something was wrong.
Miranda's blood pressure started to fall, and her heart rate started to fall. The baby's heartbeat was falling. Miranda was bleeding, and she was starting to lose consciousness.
As she was rushed to the OR, Miranda began having seizures. Doctors performed an emergency C-section to deliver the baby, and then her heart stopped.
We run into the OR. I start performing CPR on Miranda. At the same time, we're trying to save Miranda's life and save her baby's life.
I could see that it was serious because I could see the change in the OR nurse's face, and that something serious was happening, and I could see that there was a flood of people that ran towards the operating room.
It was very scary. We had a lot of people in the room. It was very chaotic with her. She was bleeding out.
She was blue, her heart had stopped. I did the chest compressions, part of the CPR, to get her blood moving. And it was pretty amazing, somebody on the brink of death like that coming back to life.
Her baby Van was stabilized and placed right here in the neonatal intensive care unit, but Miranda was still in trouble.
I had a breathing tube. I was placed in a medically induced coma. Basically, the machines and the nurses and the doctors were doing everything they could to keep me alive.
Miranda had suffered a very rare pregnancy complication, an amniotic fluid embolism.
It's a very lethal problem, and the survival rate is extremely low.
No one knows what causes this condition, and more than 60% of the women who experience it don't survive. It took a team of more than 50 doctors, nurses, and staff to save Miranda and Van.
It was the staff, the nurses, that were able to kind of bring me through that time, explain each step, explain what I was supposed to see, what to expect, what to hope not for, what to hope for.
And when Miranda finally reawakened, roughly 30 hours later, she had no idea she'd given birth and couldn't talk because she was still on the breathing tube.
My husband was holding my hand. I remember feeling very calm, but also extremely confused. But when I saw my husband, I had always used a sign language to tell him that I love him and was able to tell him that I loved him.
When I saw Miranda come out of the coma and recognize that her brain was intact and her body was functioning, I mean, this is what you live for. This is why we do what we do.
2 days after giving birth, Miranda held her baby for the first time.
His hair is so silky soft.
I know that we had both been to the darkest of places, and to both finally be together and reunited and able to feed him and smell him and kiss him and do all the things that you dream of doing it was an incredible moment.
There have been lots of moments for Miranda and Bryce, the simple, everyday joy of just watching their son grow.
Hey, what brings you in to see us?
At Scripps, we have roughly 4,300 nurses who take care of you. They take your vital signs, answer questions about your medication. They prepare you for surgery. They make sure you're comfortable in bed. They assess you from head to toe, 24 hours a day, looking for any warning signs. They are at the heart of your care. It takes a special person to be a nurse. They work long hours. They're the ones who hold your hand in the middle of the night. They're the calm, reassuring voice for patients and their families. They're the continuous bridge between you and your doctor.
Nursing, it's not a job. It's just something you're born with it. It's a calling.
I want to provide an atmosphere where they feel confident and they feel like they can be vulnerable, because it's a vulnerable time.
There's no way any of this happens without nurses. The nurses are the glue for everything, and if they don't do what they do, then nothing happens.
Nurses are special people. It takes a lot to be a nurse. They're the ones that are with you at 2 o'clock in the morning when everyone else is asleep and you have questions. They're the ones that are doing everything for you because you can't do it for yourself. And yet they do it with grace, and they do it, it's as though it's a gift or a pleasure for them.
If you've been touched by a nurse at Scripps, we hope you'll please consider making a donation to the Scripps Health Foundation in their honor. Your gifts help fund things like continuing education for our nurses. Thanks to your generosity, we can provide advanced training for our nurses so they can keep up with the latest technology to better take care of you. Please donate whatever you can. No amount is too small, and every dollar is critically important. And please fill out the tribute card so we can let that special nurse know how much they mean to you.
Cheers, everyone. Cheers. To many more. Yeah, to many more.
Every year around Van's birthday, the family returns to Scripps to thank the team for saving their lives.
We will never forget the care that we received, and we want Van to share in that as well.
And Bryce, in 2010, he left his job as a painting contractor and went back to school to become a nurse.
It was an aha moment. I had a moment where I thought, this is what I think I was put here to do. It's time for me to go back to school again and learn to be a nurse.
And where does Bryce work? Alongside the team that saved his family's lives. Just an ordinary afternoon in the park, and a grateful mother and father who will one day tell their son how extraordinary life can be.
Just seeing Van play or just seeing him reach a milestone, it takes us back to, the outcome could have been very different. And I immediately think about the care I received, and I immediately think of those nurses.
Thank you!
We thank you in advance for your generosity, because through philanthropy, we help to heal, enhance, and save lives.